Hello, I'm Sora Luxon, and this is a tarot card Page of Pentacles. And remember, the knaves or pages are the hidden princesses of the sacred journey. And so they don't ride a horse or sit a throne, but instead stand firm and resolute as he. That last word name that completes the inertia, you might say, that finishes or concludes those influences of the other suits. The princesses are the power of spirit, and as such are permanent but also constantly active, violently so at times. And this page, daughter of the royal heritage that bears her the king and queen crown, is a combination of that lineage. The Princess of Pentacles is what I like to call the practical princess, and is often symbolized in variant decks by grass, flowers, tree groves, like actual copses of trees, often with shades of dark brown, very deep reds, especially her red hat, that signify this page's fealty of earth on the material plane. A ram's head, often winged, or the circular scepter, that circular staff in the two-dimensional rather than a sphere, that also sometimes appears as well in their own mysterious ways. You can find them in different decks. The Page of Pentacles, Our Lady of the Rose of the Palace of Terra, the Palace of Earth. She is actually the throne of the Ace of Pentacles and resides not over any partial degree, but instead over a full quadrant of the North Pole on the ecliptic. This card is Earth of Earth. And we see that here. We see tilled agricultural lands, fertile blossoms, flowers blooming underfoot, beautiful mountain ranges, and abundantly lush forest, all shown in one card. The Empress of Gnomes is a lean figure, almost Amazonian. Although if you're using a Rider-Waite deck, she will be disarmed, as all the knaves are in the Rider-Waite, leaning instead towards health of action and mind, with no weapon shown. Because also you have to recall the pentacle represents the physical rather than the elemental forms of water, air, and fire. Instead you have, the Da Vinci Man, that star, that pentacle tying us to the physical, tying us to earth, that element. The human and material on the manifested plane of materia. But you can still see here, even though she isn't armed, the warrior with a strong and proud but also youthfully energetic stance. Generally, this is a youth, a teenager, or a young adult, and they're going to have, yes, darker hair and eyes, oak, brown, brunette. A mantle of deep umber crimson, again, that red hat. Sometimes a sheepskin or even a ram's skull will be adorning her temple or portrayed as a crest, tying again her to the deep mysteries of the abundant, fecund feminine of earth, like Hera, Persephone, Ceres, right? Ceres, that wheat and that grass again. Unlike the Ace of Pentacles, which again is her true seat unshown, she carries aloft the scepter disc, or that golden two-dimensional pentacle, that coin, a circular, palm up, just like the Ace does, as if to whisper, "Look at all I have to offer. Is it not well? Am I not interested in it?" And this knave is benevolent, just again like the Ace of Pentacles, although due to foresight rather than, miraculous abundance. Here we have practicality. And those who pull the Page of Pentacles upright don't always have large sums of material resource or a lot of money to draw from. But what they do have, they share well and willingly in the best possible ways for best results. Many people immediately think of the philosopher when they see this card, and that isn't far off the mark, because this page commits to a course of pursuit, whether it's in study, business, or relationship, and then applies themselves to seize and learn and delve and self-improve passionately, whatever that ambitious course is that they're undertaking. There is great kindness and generosity in this card, as well as bravery and a tendency to be somewhat careful. So courage is here, yes, but not the type that leaps forward without looking first. This is weighed courage. This is giving that budget a meaningful, say, monthly donation that can be met without strain, rather than just spontaneously lavish or excessively spending of time, effort, or monies. Also, committing to a healthy series of behaviors. That's another way to see it. A daily exercise routine, again, with commitment and sensible lunches involved, maybe, rather than, say, sudden massive dieting and, sudden marathon runs or workouts that end up injuring someone because they go too hard too fast. Stuff that ends up failing or unachieved. You won't find that here. Instead, you have the person saying, this is my hour a day where I go to the gym, and this is the lunch I eat 3 times a week. That is that page. In the deck of Marseille, that traditional French tarot, this page actually holds the flower of life and looks so much like the Jack in a conventional occulted suit of cards, like in bicycle playing cards, that you can hardly tell them apart. The ancient deck looks so much like today's bicycle Jack. So yes, this is an individual who exercises in a healthy and balanced way, or is planning to do so and should now begin, or is beginning. Think conserving for long-term benefit and appreciating fully what is at hand, perceiving it willfully for all it's worth, and then working with it. These are the attributes of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn brought together as one. Planned action by diligent awareness and a thriftiness of action and resource and inertia that creates all sorts of wonderful room and potential to grow and evolve and improve. So what to do with the Page of Pentacles upright? There is so much space to develop here, so much opportunity in relationship, in career, in financial matters, and matters of the heart. So much ability allowed for by previous good practical common sense and practicality. Remember I said she's the princess of practicality. So go ahead and invest your time in those ideas you have. Act on them. Your desire and diligence will persevere, whether it's, starting to go to the gym twice a week, or, working to bring that project into fulfillment that you've been so ambitious about, or pursuing that person diligently. Get them to understand, how much you care. Give your ambition the freedom to pursue your goals, and you will earn what you seek. Prepare and stick to the budget. Whether it's a budget of time or actual cash or effort, stick to the budget. Trust your material, earthly senses. Trust yourself. And also enjoy what you have. Perceive the youth and abundance around you and take joy in it. Take your dreams and manifest them into the material world. The Page of Pentacles reversed. The Knave of Coins turned aside is wasteful rather than generous. Rather than, giving in a balanced and useful way, you have extravagance here. She squanders what she has. The Page of Pentacles reversed is prodigal in the biblical sense. That is extravagant without any foresight, which will always leave this individual destitute, very poor. And in very, no resources, very bad, problematic situations without the resources because they've been wasted to now solve those situations. This is a card that generally rises to the fingertips of those who are suffering actual material loss that could have been avoided through wiser choices. immaturity reveals itself in this reversal, because instead of realistic thriftiness, you have, posers, material posers. People think of the friend you might have who likes to pretend they're an elitist, right? And pays for everyone, even though they can't actually afford it. Who's really extravagant, buys things to, act like they have so much money they don't have to worry about anything, but they're also actually tragically in debt all the time. The individual who buys the diamond bracelet or watch on credit and then acts as if it doesn't matter at all, that they can't then pay their rent. If this is you, be warned. Focusing only ever on the short term, on what is directly ahead, with no thought to the future, can leave you penniless in more ways than one. It's not just about money, right? It serves no one if you wind up spiritually and or materially bankrupt. A severe lack of planning will only ever reap the reward of the universe bringing forward those painful lessons that you need to teach you how to then plan better. The Page of Pentacles reversed is not a card of progress, but instead is an exclamation of you're not making progress, and take heed, right? Pay attention, grasshopper, because it isn't the ant's job to save you when winter comes and you freeze to death. It's your job to plan, as they do, so you can reap the rewards safe and sound and warmly fed when the harsher seasons come, as they will. All things are an ebb and a flow. So go open a savings account and buy the hybrid SUV that suits your needs, even though it isn't flashy, and nods to the future of the dynamic whole of humanity, rather than, say, the unnecessary top-of-the-line model with all the bells and whistles that has a latte maker in it and voice commands you'll never use and cost $30,000 more. No one's impressed. And it's time to start getting the let out as well. If you're looking at the Page of Pentacles turned aside, you need to start avoiding laziness when and where you can. Look for it in your day. Yes, I'm telling you, pay attention to how much time you're spending on the couch. Stop scanning, Instagram endlessly, just swiping for hours. Enough already with the endless vacation, mentally, spiritually, and physically. Procrastination has a tendency, whether or not we realize it, to make us both irritable, because we know on a very deep subconscious level that we're not getting done what we should. And then also rather counter-psychologically intolerant of others. Procrastinators tend to be intolerant as we struggle to tolerate ourselves. We're putting up with ourselves and feeling like we're procrastinating. And then we struggle to tolerate those around us in a healthy and decent way. So it's time to get serious. If you're being lazy, enough with that. Let's get to work and begin making those plans that we can put into action for these amazing long-term goals that we can then see fulfilled and will see fulfilled. So what to do with this reversal? Stop spending recklessly if you are, put away the credit card. Curb the impulsiveness. If you're being thoughtless or not taking the time to appreciate things, it's time to make a point to do so. And by doing so, you'll find yourself enthusiastic to do more. Until next time.